Please mind the gap between the train and the...
Whatever. Welcome to the Punkio podcast, the show that brings you unsigned punk music, regular interviews, news, reviews, and more. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing. Let's jump straight in. Here's your host, Tim Marshall.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Punkio podcast, people. So today I have a guy called Kyle. He goes by the name of Passionflower. So here we go. Hi, Kyle. How you doing, bud? All right?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm all right. I'm doing well.
Good. Stuck in lockdown like me.
Why?
Loving life, eh? Loving life. There we go. So you're actually the first British artist I've had.
Wow.
Can you believe? Yeah, you should feel privileged. The rest have been, I think they've all been US actually. But yeah, you're the first one. So go you. There we go. So I mean, how did you get into the into music, into the punk genre itself in the first place?
Really, but it's probably about 20 years ago now, actually, because I remember the kids that I hung out with briefly were quite old, were a couple of years older than me. And they would listen to like a lot of drive-through records bands, so like Finch and Something Corporate and those kind of bands. And I heard it and I was like, oh, okay, I jam with that. That's something that I've been in. And gradually, as I've been, especially my teens, like when I was obviously growing up, it was like the noughties, like 2005 was like the year after I started high school, and then My Chemical Romance got huge, and like Green Day just dropped American Idiot, and then I was like, okay, I'm hooked. And then
that's good.
That was like my sort of introduction to punk-ish music, apart from like Tony Hawk's, obviously, because that was also another really huge phenomenon kind of going on at the time. So I guess Tony Hawk is the real gateway into alternative music. And then as far as playing music, like I was in like a musical theatre sort of school kind of thing on like Sundays. So it was a lot of singing, dancing and acting, which was, fun. I enjoyed it. I stuck with it until I was like 14 or something.
Yeah.
But then when I went to high school, I started to do like guitar lessons, and then eventually I was like, oh, the bass is pretty cool. And then just kind of decided I'm just going to try and do as many things as I can all at the same time and see how it works out for the best.
Nice. So in your music, do you play all the instruments yourself then, or do you have other people doing bits and bobs?
So for the most part, it's just me. I'm sort of forming a band. I'm not currently in a band, but I'm sort of in the midst of making that a thing after the longest time, which is really nice actually, because I think the thing I miss about being in bands is the other people's creative input, rather than it just being like, is this song good?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely. I mean, myself, I've been in bands when I was younger as well. I mean, the last band I was in, it was 15 years ago now, so quite a while. I mean, 33 now. Last band was when I was 18. So, I feel like I'm getting on. Might be too old to get into a band now.
That's how I feel, because especially like a lot of the bands that I know, they're like the guys in like 18 to like 20 something.
Yeah.
And usually that's like the cut off of when, like, if your aim was to get like signed by a label, they kind of look for guys in like, the late teens, early 20s to market to certain people. And I'm like 27 now, so I'm like, I'm out of that bracket. I am out of that bracket.
I know, it sucks. Yeah, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm hopefully producing my own music soon, but that's another story. We'll chat about that in another podcast, I'm sure. So, I mean, who would you say your main influences are for the type of music that you do? Because it's not 100% pop punk. I'd say there's kind of a lot of influences within your music, I think.
Yeah, like I listen to such a spectrum of music. I think to keep myself fresh, because I feel like if you just listen to like one thing all the time, like especially as like a songwriter as well, like it gets stale. So what's good is to jump from different genre spectrums. So it's very obviously that my like influences is like noughties sort of alternative music. So My Chemical Romance is Good era Fall Out Boy, your Finch, And then you've got like heavier bands like Alexis on Fire, which are like one of my favorite bands. Funeral for a Friend,
Yeah,
Thursday. So you've got some of the post-hardcore influences then, and then you've got like wild card bands like Limp Bizkit, who like are really riffy in Linkin Park. And then sort of the lyric wise, it's sort of like you Say Anythings or your Weezers, where it's kind of really introspective. And I think because I write a lot, if not all of my lyrics, from my own personal experience and how I'm feeling at the time, or I think that's a good way to connect with people, because that's how those songs or those bands have kind of connected to me and made me kind of go, all right, okay, yes, son.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially for me, Linkin Park be one of my favourite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Go on there, and yeah, I'm so gutted I never saw them live. I really am, and I mean, I will if I can. Still, I will. It's not going to be the same, obviously, but
obviously not. No.
But I'm sure it will still be good. But yeah, I write lyrics myself as well. I don't put any music to them. I just write the lyrics for the hell of it. But but I'm very influenced by Linkin Park. Kind of, I suppose they're very dark lyrics.
Yeah,
I'm not a dark kind of guy myself, but
in retrospect of obviously like him to like ultimately taking his own life, and
yeah,
kind of you kind of like, especially sort of the first 3 albums from like Hybrid Theory to Minster Midnight, you just kind of you read into the lyrics and you go, oh, okay, he was feeling some stuff that day.
Definitely,
which I think is quite good, that you can, you know, listen to them songs and keep re-listening to them and then constantly finding your own.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
To put his meaning as well.
Definitely, yeah. Well, my favourite Linkin Park album is a very underrated one. I don't know, was it their latest one before he died? One More Light?
Yeah, you know, I didn't really check it out, because by the time that album came out, I kind of was like, not phased out of it, but I was kind of like, it's not kind of the sound I'm after anymore.
Fair enough, yeah.
So I didn't check it out at the time, but retrospectively after, I was like, okay, I'll give it a fair chance. Yeah, there's some decent songs on it.
Yeah, I like it. My favourite song of all time is One More Light now. I can't tell you why. I love Linkin Park, pretty much most of their songs, but yeah, I don't know. There we go. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll jump into the first track. So which one do we want to play first? Your choice.
Let's play Chirp Charlie first.
Yeah, awesome. We'll do that. So there we go. Cheer Up Charlie by Passionflower.
I know you you're dreaming, but I'm leaving, and I won't be back again. And now you're older and colder, and I'm sorry for what I did. Charlie, my boy, I didn't mean to hurt you. Just trying to protect you from who you will become. And I remember your smile till the end of time. But always know that I'm dying inside. And I must confess that I wasn't enough to save you from yourself, from your self-destruct. Now my life is just a mess, and I know what to blame. If I could turn back the clock, I would save us from the pain. But crying won't save us now. The guilt is too far gone. All I fear is darkness now. I don't wanna be alone. 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 Charlie, my boy, I didn't mean to hurt you. Just trying to protect you from who you will become. And I remember your smile till the end of time. But always know that I'm dying inside. Charlie, my boy, I didn't mean to hurt you. Just trying to protect you from who you will become. And I remember your smile till the end of time. But always know that I'm dying inside. Dying inside. Dying inside. Dying inside. I'm dying inside.
Okay, Carl. So, yeah, 100% feeling the kind of Linkin Park vibes of that track. So while we were listening to that, you said that you wrote this one quite a while ago.
Yeah, 11 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
so young and naive back then.
There we go. So what was your influence for that? Can you remember?
So yeah, it was basically during that summer, because that summer was kind of the year that I finished school, and a lot of real and personal like grievances was going on. So I felt very alone and very, I don't know if like abandoned's the right word, but I just felt very like pushed to the side sort of, and that was kind of like right, well, suck you guys, I'm gonna write this this song. And it became like the catalyst of loads of different projects that I ended up doing. But that's like the one song that I was kind of like the entire time kind of tweaking and changing, and kind of, I like this song. And then it turned out other people really like that song as well. So I was like, yeah, I'll keep that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, what made you release it? So you're kind of new this year, I guess. Passionflower is kind of new this year. You've only brought it out this year, or?
Sort of. So I've been gigging as Passionflower for like almost, in fact, as of February, like it'll be 4 years.
Oh, really?
So, and I kind of just decided, whilst I'm sorting other music out, I need to get something out to kind of get a foot in the door for people to kind of get what I'm about. And I feel like Charlie as a track is kind of a a good placeholder to be like, right, this is the starting point. This is point A of this multi-point journey of what Passionflower will be.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, not to toot my own horn, but for a 16-year-old, it's not too
bad at all. Yeah, not bad at all.
And then I think as well, it shows a lot of growth as well as like a performer, as a songwriter, as a musician. Because I feel like listening back, it's good to feel I can like remember like going and recording it and sitting in my room at my mum's house and writing it. And I think about what I do now and how I've improved so much since that point. So it's good. I keep it around for the right. You started here kind of place.
Yeah. Well, what comes first usually, the lyrics or the music then?
Oh, see, I think it kind of varies song to song because usually when how I end up writing a song is I'll be doing probably the most mundane task, or I'll be at like my job and then something will randomly just be like a melody or something will pop in my brain, and then I'll be like humming it into my phone, and then sort of the lyrics will sort of come, and then I guess it sort of all comes at once, but I guess I kind of decipher what the lyrics are first before then I get into the other areas.
Okay. Interesting. So what do you do for a job then? Is it anything musical?
It is not anything musical. I work in retail, so I am very looking forward to going back to this week and dealing with all the Karens.
No.
Disappointing kids at Christmas.
Yes.
Asking me for the manager, and I'm like, I don't know, man. The manager just said no.
Computer says no. Yeah, I know. I always worked in retail for. Started when I was 21, so probably about 8 years I was in retail for, and I hated Christmas for 8 years. I hated it.
Like soap in it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like a Christmassy person anyway, but my like contempt for Christmas is like over the last couple of years it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. So it's just like my favorite memes, like the two kind of December 1st memes, you know, like where it's like Elf in one panel and then it's Lord of the Rings in the other. And I'm very much like Lord of the Rings. Like I was in the car with my dad like yesterday, and I think it was Heart FM. They was just playing like Mariah Carey, and I was like looking at my dad, looking at the dad's like, come on, fam, it's not even December yet. Come on, just let me have this day to be miserable and not be Christmas Day.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. Well, I say I've grown to like it now, which is a good thing. But yeah, I know your pain. Trust me, I know your pain.
At work, I'm quite nice to them, like, because I compromise. I'm like, listen, we can do Christmas songs, but only these Christmas songs.
Yeah.
I've made the playlist, the pre-approved, like the Christmas songs I will play and not groan about like.
That's it. Yeah, just a punk Christmas. You know?
Yeah, like I kind of like made like a little playlist to put on my Spotify of like the songs that I'm like, these are the songs. So you've got like bands like Bad Religion that have made like a little Christmas EP.
Nice.
You've got, Fall Out Boy on there. You've got like the Used on you. And like, listen, you can play Holly Jolly Christmas ones as long as I can play my Sad Boy Banger Christmas playlist.
Too right.
I don't make the rules, but these be the rules.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. That was exactly me as well during Christmas. But then the area manager came and go, what are these songs? These are not approved. I'm like, shut up.
It's funny because in my old job, because it was like a new shop when it opened, when I worked there, they basically didn't have the licenses to all of the songs. Like, they had like a generic sort of sound like playlist. So they'd have these Christmas, but like 12 Christmas songs to play, but variations of these 12 Christmas songs. But it wouldn't be like on a shuffle thing. It'd be on a CD, so it just played over and over. So we started in like taking like bets on like what song's gonna appear, and like I won every time because I felt this of what songs were what. Like, there's only so many times I can hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer be played before I'd want to yeet someone down the stairs.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard in retail to not listen to Christmas music. But yeah, I'm glad I work from home now, so I can listen to what I want. It's great. So yeah, not rubbing it in or anything. I promise.
But... I promise won't be salty.
There we go. Okay, right. Random question for you here. What's your favourite drink?
Alcoholic beverage or
whatever? Both.
Ooh. Regular beverage. Ooh. Apart from probably, I'm gonna go like apple juice / Dr Pepper. Too many people disrespect Dr Pepper, even though he has a PhD in flavour. It says it on the can.
Yeah. I like Dr Pepper as well. It's good stuff. Go on then, alcoholic. What are we feeling?
Ooh, I do like a good cocktail. Like, loads of people are like, oh, that's a girly drink. And I'm like, no, that's a great drink. So I will either have like a Sex on the Beach, because just all the fruit flavors, or a pina colada, because it's like a sexy milkshake. It's just like you sat there, you know, I'm at the bar. The girl's like, "Are you drinking milkshake?" No, it's my sexy milkshake. How you doing?
Love it. No, I do like my cocktails as well, but I've got more of a man's drink. I like my whiskey, but no, I do love the girly cocktails as well. Definitely. They are very tasty. I mean, if they're tasty, why not? But eat them.
Exactly.
Eat them, drink them.
It's basically drinking fruit juice that gets you like this. It's just great. You can keep drinking it until and not even like realize you're knocking back alcohol until you get outside, and then you're like Bambi on ice, just trying to walk down the street.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll play the next song. So the next track we have for Passionflower is Picture Perfect. So I'll have a chat up about the kind of meaning of this afterwards. So here we go. So Picture Perfect by Passionflower. Here we go.
Can you remember the 12th of December when you took my hand, made me want to fly, so happy I could die. My spirit was soaring till early next morning when you held me close, told me not to leave, 'cause I was your everything. If I could paint you a picture to show you in beauty, I would. Give me the words and I'll sing you a melody.
Okay, so I can definitely hear a change in the first song to that one. I mean, that's a lot more kind of, well, happier, I guess, Fall Out Boy kind of style.
Very upbeat in comparison.
So yeah, I mean, was that more of a recent write?
Yeah, so definitely more recent. I wrote that song about 3 years ago. So it's recent to me and everyone else.
Yes.
Like Charlie. It's actually quite interesting how that song came to be, because essentially I wrote that song in a dream and then woke up and wrote that song.
No way.
So like
That's amazing.
Like I was sort of asleep and dreaming, and then I just woke up and was like, ran to the other side of my room, was like, how did it go? Yeah, it went like this, yes, and then kind of smashed it out in a day, and I was like, this is amazing, this is great.
That's so cool.
And then eventually like got to the studio and recorded it, and it sounds exactly how I wanted it to sound. And you know, it's nice like when things work and life works out that way, because it usually like it doesn't. So like one of the things that came to plan did, and I'm like, yes.
No, that's really cool. I wish I used to be able to remember my dreams, but now I don't seem to. They seem to disappear as soon as I wake up. But
I relate to that, because it's either I don't sleep. It's like you've got like 3 different types of sleep. You have the sleep where there's no dream.
yeah,
The sleep with the really random, like weird off-kilter dream where you're like, did I take acid before bed? No, because I don't do drugs. So what the hell was that? Or you've got like the really realistic kind of dream that you wish you could stay in and you don't want to wake up kind of dream. You just like, you wake up like really disappointed that you're in the circumstance you're still in. You're like,
yeah,
it's so real, man.
yeah.
Why was a mirror? And then you just wake up like, oh man, I'm in my still in my student loan. What's going on to you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so yeah, I'd love to be able to write lyrics that way. That's really cool. So yeah, I like that. That is pretty awesome. Okay, favorite movie? Go for it. Any ideas? Or too many?
Straight off the bat, I've got loads of like little favorite films from like, but I think the overarching favorite film is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is directed by Michel Gondry. It's like it's basically Jim Carrey is in it, but it's not like wacky 90s Jim Carrey. It's like, oh, I'm sad and depressed and trying to do serious movies Jim Carrey, but it's such an iconic film. Like if you've not watched it, I definitely recommend it. In fact, one of the songs on the album is called Joel and Clementine. It's based on the characters of that film.
Okay.
So I'm quite looking forward to people to hearing that, especially if they're fans of that song and looking at little reference points and hearing theirs.
Yeah. When's your album coming out?
See, that is the question. When is my In theory, it was already meant to be out. It was meant to be out like a couple of days ago. I planned for it to be like November, but because like Miss Rona hasn't made up her mind what she's gonna do, and making things really difficult, especially for like the performance arts sort of sector. Like it's hard to kind of pin it down. Because, like, in theory, like, if I wanted to release it tomorrow with no promotion materials or, like, making videos and that, I could do that tomorrow because it's, in theory, already done. But it's sorting out all, like, the videos and the campaigns and, like, the shows to support the release. And because everything's so uncertain right now, just kind of like, oh, I'm not sure. So, hopefully, in theory, by summer 2021, in theory, is when my album is going to be coming out.
Look forward to it. So do you have a team working with you to get all that sorted, or are you doing it yourself?
Currently, I do everything Passionflower myself.
Yeah.
One person team. Sometimes not making the best decisions, but the decisions are being made. But yeah, no, definitely just me at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's all right. We all make bad decisions now and then, so it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, the 20th for the terrible decisions. The 30th for making up those terrible decisions you've made the decade before.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. It's all right. It's new decade now. It's fine. You can.
Like, just rewrite it. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't think the decade started yet. We'll start it next year. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, fuck Ronos. Yeah, but So
I very much get a mulligan on this year, please.
yes, I can't wait for it to be finished. It's definitely.
We're all doing well. We've only got like what a month. We've got literally a month as of today, tomorrow to kind of be like, then it's over.
Very true. But how long will it last after?
That is the other question.
So because as soon as is it from the 24th they're allowing visits to other people's houses?
Yeah, basically, I just think it's all a bit west. It's a bit crazy. It's like you can't leave your home unless you spend money, and I'm just like, okay, but I've got no money, so I have to stay home.
Yeah.
The hell, man.
Well, yeah, you can't meet people indoors, yet you can go to a shop and meet over 100 people indoors.
Exactly, like if I go back to work on Wednesday, it's just kind of like, so you've not been able to see anyone for a month. Now you're going to see everyone for a month.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, make up your mind.
Yeah. Have you been stuck on furlough then, have you?
Yeah. But it's one of those, because I'm used to staying in Inuit anyway and not seeing people. It's not so much of a struggle not seeing people. And if anything, it's time to plan things, be more creative and like record demos for something else or work with other people. So I mean, I'm not going to complain because it's time that I can do more bits I wouldn't be able to do if I was working at the time anyway, where I'd be down and screaming and pulling my hair out.
Yeah, definitely write a song about that. Yeah. So I mean, your plans, are you going to continue with Passionflower as a solo project and do a separate band, or kind of link them together?
Link them together. Essentially, Passionflower was always intended to be a band, but I could never find like 3 or 4 other dudes to play in a band with me. So it kind of got to the point where it's like, I just want to do music. I just want to play shows. I'm sick of waiting around for other people to want to do things with me. I'm just gonna do it myself. Like, like Final Spotting in the Infinity Stones. Like, I'm around. I'm just gonna do this myself. So it's always meant to be a band, and it kind of just started off being acoustic-y stuff. But then always I'd write the songs and arrangements to be a band thing rather than it just be, I'm just a guy with an acoustic guitar turning up at your house and playing sad songs.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I've always wanted to do solo stuff, but the only instrument I can play is piano, and I've got a piano, but it's broken, so can't play it at the moment. It's annoying, but I am learning guitar as well. I can learn 2 notes so far. I don't know what notes, but I can do. They sound good, so
I just wing it. I don't. When I'm writing the songs, I don't go, that's an A suspended or anything. I'm just like, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
This also sounds. This 3rd chord sounds amazing with the other 2. And that's how I would do it. I just, like everything else in my life, I just wing it and hope for the best.
Sounds good. Yeah, I did that at the podcast. Well, to be honest, I mean, I kind of I organised it a bit in October and advertised it and stuff. Got a few followers on board, kind of ones that would 100% listen. I know they would. And then launched it in November, and everyone keeps saying to me, "Have you got a script and stuff?" I don't know. Why would I have a script? I want to wing it. I want their honest opinion of stuff and their kind of vibe. And I just thought, why not? Let's just make something up, get to know bands, promote them a little bit, and go for it there. So
yeah. And I guess that's the way to be, because I think if you plan every detail of everything, you'll feel more disappointed if it doesn't go to plan the exact way you want it to do.
Yeah.
Rather than if you can wing it and it works out really, really good, then that's even better.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that. But we'll see. I'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Or someone might come along. You never know. You never know. Awesome. Okay, so I can see some merch in the background. Is that available? Because that's really awesome.
I have a few of those ones left. I've got like 4 different T-shirts out currently.
Yeah.
Which that is one of them. Hopefully I'll be reprinting stuff again in the next year, and I've got a few more different merch ideas I want to do and try out.
Nice. I'll definitely buy something. That looks really cool. I like it. I'll definitely, yeah. I'll get something off you. Don't worry about that. There we go. Okay, sweet. So, when we're recording this song is not out, but it is out on the day it goes out. So, what's the track called? And tell us a bit about it.
So, the song is called Neverland. And it's a really sad song. Like, especially it's a complete juxtaposition to what Neverland was, and Neverland's kind of this big old "I love you," it's a love song, yay! This song is not that song. The song is like, I feel bad, real bad. Yeah, so I kind of wrote it in the midst of sort of like a suicidal kind of mindset where I was just kind of like, bro, I don't care if I'm moving from this place to this place or off the planet. It was kind of not good. A lot of bad stuff happened around that time, and I just kind of wanted to get away from it all. So it's kind of, the narrative is kind of like, you know what, all I need is this like one person, you know, you come with me on this adventure, we'll just get the hell out of here and we'll do our own thing. All we need is us. We all we need is each other's space in our company to try and help us to get through this bad time. And I think that's kind of a good message for now, where a lot of people, especially during like the lockdowns and during Christmas time anyway, like a lot of people feel like they have no one to talk to and no one understands what they're going through and the struggles. And I feel like, you know, as a musician and as someone who suffers from multiple mental health issues, you know, sometimes I go through the times where I'm like, I feel so low and alone that, you know, and I just want to be understood. So I wrote these lyrics and I wrote the song as a way of like saying, look, you're not on your own. You're not going through these struggles alone. You know, other people that go through this stuff, it might be exactly the situation. It could be similar. Yeah, it's just to know that you're not alone and to kind of know that people are bad, really.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of. That's what the song is. It was a very long-winded answer.
That was.
You're not your own. Everyone struggles. People are there for you if you need to talk to them.
Awesome. And good message then. Right, so yeah, first time I'm listening to it, so here we go. Let's have a go. See what it's like. So here we go. So Neverland by Passionflower.
Take my hand, run away with me tonight. Let's forsake all of our pain. I'll leave this city down behind. Did you everything I need? Your heart is my home. Wherever we will be, we will never be alone. nobody knows my face. So take me away to a faraway place where nobody knows my face. Let me vanish without a trace. Let my name become erased. Let me be just a memory. So take me away to a faraway place where nobody knows my face. Let me vanish without a trace. Let my name become erased. Let me be just a memory. Let me be just a memory. Let me be just a Let me be just a memory.
I'm absolutely loving that track. I can 100% feel kind of Funeral for a Friend. And I'm really getting the song Juno, I think, from that. Was that quite a big influence, do you think, in the writing of that song?
Sort of, yeah. I wanted a lot of the songs on the album sort of flirt with a lot of genres rather than it just being like specifically like this song's a post-hardcore song or this song's a punk song or this one might be an acoustic one. You know, I kind of wanted it all to be an amalgamation of kind of all the things that I like in music.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've got a massive eclectic taste as well. And yeah, I like the sound of that. I can't wait for your album. I'm sure it'll be awesome. Definitely. Okay, sweet. So, I mean, what would you say the first gig you remember? What's the first gig you remember going to?
I think my first sort of alternative gig was Slipknot at Manchester Academy back in 2004. Yes, 2004, 2005, I think it was. My first actual gig, so my non-scene point gig, is Busted back in 2003.
Love
for
it.
which I won the ticket. I did like a local talent show thing, like a singing, and I sung Teenage Dirtbag, which is, you know, an absolute bop, and I won that, and I got tickets to go see Busted. And it also happened to be the tour that McFly were on as well, so I saw McFly and Busted, and then like the kind of the opening band was like a boy band called V, who were like no one knows. I don't think anyone. I think
I'm kind of thinking there's something dinging in my head.
Yeah, it just called V and V, and they had a song called Blood, Sweat and Tears. It's like the only thing I can remember of that band.
Yeah.
So that's that band was back then in 2020. But yeah, definitely Busted, and I was such a like Busted stan. Like, oh, Charlie Simpson.
But I saw them last year.
like older like Charlie Simpson. But then it's also because I was such a huge Busted stan. I was like initially devastated when he broke up, but then when Fight Star came out, I was like, okay,
yeah, this
is the one.
Definitely
that
was.
Fight Star went on like a massive hiatus, and now he's doing Busted again. I'm like, okay, maybe Busted's all right. I'd rather you do Fight Star personally.
Yeah, yeah, no, Fight Star were awesome. Definitely, yeah, but yeah, so I saw them last year at what's it called, De Montfort Hall in Leicester. And so there was Busted, Professor Green, and Scout for Girls were the three artists on.
What a weird lineup.
I know, I know. But they had very weird lineups throughout. I mean, they had a DJ, then they had an acoustic artist, and then they had an R&B artist one day, and then another day they had like a heavy alternative rock band. They had a screamo band. It was like the most random ever, but honestly the gigs were great, and yeah, it was really good.
The most randomest gig I've played at Passionflower has to be like there was like me and two other acoustic artists, and then the headliner was like a metalcore band.
What?
So you had like three like Felix bands, and then he's like, all right, let's open this, and then you just there like, well, this is like I vibe to it, but this is a weird vibe. It's quite like and I've been on like such weird. It's weird because initially because I played as an acoustic artist, people are like, oh, you're a little bit old. Bang you on there. You're okay. I'll bang you on there. So like I'll be like I opened for a ska punk show once.
Nice.
So like it's completely two different energies. Like, oh, I'm feeling so sad, and then all right, get up, guys. Are you ready to let everyone dance? And just like, all right, this is a different vibe, but I'm here for the weird.
Brilliant. Who was the metalcore band? Were they known or?
They're not like a big known, but like they've become friends of mine. So they're a band called Only the Righteous.
Okay.
They're doing all right. They're doing okay.
Yeah, I think I might do a metalcore episode soon, because it's kind of in the punk genre. It's a offshoot of punk.
Yeah,
so
it's adjacent, isn't it?
Yeah. So there we go. But yeah, I'm part of quite a few groups on Facebook and metalcore. I quite like the music. I mean, While She Sleeps at the moment, loving that band.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
It's the new, especially their whole Sleep Society kind of Patreon thing that they're doing as well. Like
Definitely.
That's really innovative.
Yeah,
to do, like such a good, and they're so good. I think as well to give back to local bands and smaller bands.
100%.
They're like, all right, this is a platform that we're using, but rather than you just go, oh, I wish I could, like, you use this platform, like we're freely like giving you the platform to use in this way that we're doing it. See like your level of success rise, and I think that's just a really nice thing of them to do.
Yeah, 100%. I need to look into it a bit more actually, but yeah, I know they're obviously trying to help, which is really, really good. So yeah, we'll have a look into that. But I Prevail as well.
Yeah,
I only recently got into them this year actually, and listened to their last album, and wow, I think it's been on repeat for about 2 months. So so really, really good. And I'm looking forward to the new Bring Me Horizon album as well.
Yeah, the
good. Latest EP was good.
Was like really, really good, and like I really enjoyed it, especially in comparison to Ammo, which like I personally didn't enjoy that much. So it's kind of, I feel like what the new stuff that's just put out is kind of a good culmination of everything they've been doing over the past 15 or so years they've been a band. It's kind of a good thing.
Like
but if this just like the last thing they ever released, like I think that would be like, everyone would be like, you know what, I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah,
obviously I could do whatever they want to do for however till like Ollie's like 90 years old and doing stage dives with a cinema frame, They'll do whatever they want, and I kind of admire that they kind of like, you know what, we just want to do what we're doing. We're not like this band or this band. We are our band, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, you've just given me an idea for some merch there with the person jumping into this crowd of a Zimmer frame. Sweet, I'm definitely gonna write that down. I'm gonna write it down now. But yeah, I tell you, another artist that I'm really, really looking forward to. His album is Youngblood.
Youngblood's one of them guys that I've only sort of recently checked out because like he's had so much hype, and I'm a bit of like a hipster when it comes to music and films and stuff. So like, if someone's like really hyped up and like people are like, oh, I love it, I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna wait till the heat dies down a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort of check it out and then see. I guess it's kind of so I'm not kind of rushed the opinion of other people. I can kind of form my own kind of individual opinion on that form of art. But he's doing really well, especially, and again, like Machine Gun Kelly, like I didn't personally like love his album, but it's a good album. His new one that he put out a couple of months ago. I think it's good, especially for younger generation. It's kind of like a gateway into the scene in general. And I think it's kind of nice that that sort of sound is coming back, but not necessarily through traditional means. So it's like these sort of rap adjacent bands or artists are doing it. So there's a guy called Kenny Hoopla who's done a song with Travis Barker.
Yeah,
and that's basically a straight up 2005 emo TRL song. Like And I'm like, you know what? I've not heard his other stuff to compare to that, but I just been seeing that song in the rounds, give it a listen. It's like, you know what? Okay, I think like Travis Barker could be like the new like John Feldman, where he's producing all these new scene bands, or he's kind of producing the new wave of a sound.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think to say by the looks of it, by the sounds of it, the kind of new sound is, I suppose. So I had an artist on called Nate Flood. You may know him from the groups, yeah. So he calls himself Cloud Punk. I've never really heard before. I've never heard that phrase, but I looked it up on Spotify, and I mean, there's lists and lists of playlists of bands, and they're very kind of, I don't know what you'd call them. I suppose emotional punk, and there's a lot of kind of rapping in it.
Yeah,
more EDM kind of style punk.
Yeah, it's a good classification. It's like I don't necessarily. It's like for myself, like I don't necessarily call myself a pop punk band or a post hardcore band. I kind of bundle it all together and call it post emo, because kind of it's not kind of just this or just this or just this. It's kind of a element of this, and this. And I guess it's kind of good, especially because I'm one of them people, like I write lots of songs for lots of genres for lots of people. So I don't want to sort of pigeonhole myself into being, oh, well, you're just a pop punk guy, or, oh, well, you're just an emo, you know. And I think especially like the diversity of the songs I've released anyway, I think you can kind of tell that it's not like I'm just writing this song or this sound of song. I just kind of like, if I like it, I'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I can definitely tell difference between the three songs you showed me. I mean, obviously the first one, very young, kind of not knowing the world as such, and then the one after that was a lot more happier and that, and then you've kind of combined them both into this new one, and yeah, it's good. I like it.
world weary millennial trying to find his way in the world.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate. Yeah, I can relate. It's definitely true. Okay, so what's your favourite gig you've been to? Not your first gig, your favourite gig.
Ooh, favourite. Dang, there's so many good ones. I think it would have to be. I think in case of last favourite big show, like with a massive artist, have to be Bullet for My Valentine playing the Poison album on that tour.
Nice.
In 2016, where they brought along Killswitch Engage, and I believe the opener was Canehill. All of the bands were really great, so it was great, especially great to see like Killswitch Engage, because they're like one of my favourite like metalcore metal bands, especially like Howard Jones era, because it was great to see a black man play the music that I enjoyed. Yeah, and kind of feeling like, oh my god, it's not just me. And
yeah,
that's it. Like this year for me personally has been such a weird one. It's such an eye opener, especially in like the re-emergence of like the Black Lives Matter movement, and obviously the George Floyd and everyone else and all that stuff. But then the amount of like bands that I kind of all like people of color, or have members and people of color in it, and like this whole sub category of a community where it's not just like it's people from different spaces, is just being so amazing. Like, yeah, especially because I find when I'm coming to gigs like in the UK, because it's not so much a thing over here, like I find that I am usually in them rooms, in them spaces, being the only person of color, or like one of maybe one or two. And sometimes that's really daunting to deal with, like especially because, you know, I get when I'm out in the street and sometimes getting stared down by Doris around this corner, like, oh, it's Clean Cramp. Like, no, I'm just walking on the street. But then like when I'm going to these like sort of punk spaces where it's weird, because sometimes, you know, you'll find that punks are really accommodating and, you know, very welcoming, and you're like, yo, you're different, I'm different, we're all different, let's all be different together and feelings. But then you get the on the other flip side of that, you get some punks like, oh, you're not meant to be here, and I'm like,
yeah.
It's that part that I dislike, but I like the overarching sense of community, especially in like pop punk. I found, especially in like the past year, like a lot of people have just, you know, they've so past my skin color, and they've just kind of gone, right, cool. Because like I made a post on my Facebook like the other week, and it kind of caught some heat, but then kind of spread a lot of awareness of like some really ignorant things that people have said to me over the past X amount of years when I've gone to shows or played shows. Like oh, I wasn't really watching your set, but I thought it was a white person singing. And then it's like, well, no. It's a,
Yeah. I
it's
hate
like,
it. I really do. It just
and
it
it's like,
pisses
oh,
me off.
you've got a white person voice. It's like, no, I'm a black guy. So by proxy, I have a black guy voice.
Yeah,
or,
no, it's just
or I think the one comment that I got so like, it was such like it's kind of like a half compliment, but it kind of really threw me. I was a bit like, what? I was playing a show in Manchester, and this old crusty punk looking dude walks over to me in his battle jacket, and he's like, "You right, mate?" Shakes my hand and says, "You know, mate, when I first saw you getting on stage, I didn't know what you was going to do. I thought you were going to be a bit crap." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. But you weren't crap. You was really good." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." I did think you was going to play some reggae, though. I was like, no. There is, like, I know Bob Marley. He's not like a personal friend, but he's not in my repertoire. Like, I know I've got the braid things going on, but you know, it's not that show. It's not that show, bud. It's not that show. These are sad boy bangers, not reggae boy bangers. They're two different things, man.
ridiculous.
Which is mad, and hopefully, you know, especially because you've gotten a lot more mainstream bands that do have them, like Loathe. Loathe are such a good band, and you know,
Agreed.
Kareem's such a cool dude. And then you've got like Nova Twins. Bob Villain, he's amazing. He's really good. Some newer bands from America that I've been finding. So like Meet Me at the Altar. They've just got signed to Fueled by Ramen. Absolutely amazing band.
Yeah, the good
Action
band.
Adventure. They're some good boys. They're actually good bops. Pull the Curtain as well.
Yes, yeah. I'm hopefully getting them on the podcast next year.
Pull
Actually,
the Curtain are my boys. Absolutely looking boys. Ever since finding them ages ago, I've been streaming that EP like every other day. Like,
yeah. It's a good album, definitely.
And I think, you know, it's so nice to. I think it's not even just for me, but for like the kids that are growing up and just sort of finding this kind of music, especially people who, you know, look like me. They can be like, well, these are these people. There's like this band that all look like me, and they can feel represented and feel like they've got that space in this genre, in this wider alternative scene that necessarily when I was growing up wasn't there. Like, there was a few people about, but it wasn't like a big thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was
No,
only
exactly the same.
between. So I think that's really nice
Yeah,
to be part of, and then to, you know, for, you know, if Passionflower becomes a thing for some kids in like 20, 30, whatever, to be like, oh, okay, this guy who looks like me and he makes this kind of music that I enjoy, and that for me is like the best.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, it's like, who cares if you like the bloody music? You make the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you are.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But I think people just presume. So, like,
Of course, yeah.
I think because people just have the idea of what like this is or who this person is, and I just think, you know, it's 2020 now. Like, take your assumptions and push them to the side, because
yeah,
they're about to get weird. About to get real weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Well, I remember a band. I mean, they must be going on now. I think probably 2005, 2006. Their last album was a band called Whole Wheat Bread.
I have heard of this band. Yes.
Yeah, so they came out.
Yes.
3 black guys. Everyone was like, "What are they doing?" Like, I saw something about them and said they went on stage and they started playing, and people were saying, "Where's the rap? Where's the R&B?" And we're like, well, don't assume that. It's like, these are 3 guys that love their punk music. It's
like there was one time at an old job. So we're talking about 2-3 years ago now. Some random, like, I used to work at like Dunelms, and I used to be on the carpet bit. So I'm like, you know, taking carpets down for people, rolling them up and taking them to the car. And some random guy in Dunelm just walks up to me, starts accosting me and being like, "So mate, do you want to listen to my rap mixtapes?" And I'm looking at him like, no, it's not going to be fire. I have no in. He's like, "I like rap music, but I have no interest in your rap music." It's like, "Oh, what kind of rap do you like?" And I'm like, "Oh, rap's not my thing, but punk is." What? And he looks at me with like 12 heads. Like, yes, I like the drums, not their throwdowns. And it's like, I think a big thing for me that people get confused and hopefully, as time goes on, it can be mystified. Is that rap culture isn't what black culture is. Like,
No.
it's part of it, but it's not the whole entire thing. Like, and black culture isn't just one culture either. It's because there's so many different facets and factions of, being black. So, like, my experience as being a Caribbean British person will be completely different to someone who is a Nigerian British person.
Of course,
because there's, the cultures and backgrounds are so different, and I think things like like Black Panther has done so much good for the representation of these different cultures, but like still like a lot of way to go, because people like one of the funniest things, well, not funny, but one of the funniest things like people have said to me, including like some friends, and I've had to kind of pull them up on it, is like, because I don't listen to X music or dress a X way, that I'm not a black person, or they're more black than I am. And I look at them like, are you serious? Are you mad?
Yeah.
Are you mad? Oh, it's like, just kind of, you have to side-eye them and be like, come on now.
Yeah. No, it's crazy to me. It really is. I don't get the kind of divide, and I never have. So that's one of the reasons I kind of like Youngblood at the moment. I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand all of the LGBTQ stuff. I don't think I ever will. It's so confusing, but he's bringing it to the forefront.
Yeah, exactly. I just really respect that. Like, people who are doing something a bit different and can open up the spot for not just their situation, but like everyone around them situation in that kind of same spot. I respect that so much. Like, I'm not like, I won't come around and be like, I stan him, he's my favorite music at the moment, but I respect him so much as an artist and what he does as a whole.
Definitely. And so I'm getting that vibe off you. I think you'd kind of be a good role model from your music, from what I get from you on this podcast. So keep it up.
Well, hopefully I can do some bits and help some people out.
Definitely,
along the way.
Definitely. Okay, sweet. Well, I think we're pretty much done, unless you've got any questions for me or anything, or you want to give some shout outs or whatever. No, any local bands you've played with? Well, not played with lately, because you haven't played anything lately.
Oh yeah, so shout out to my boys in Hightail. They're a band from Bristol. They're doing bits. They're such a good band, such good friends of mine. To Wilted Flower, she's a girl from Nottingham. She's doing really well as well. To my boys in Coast to Coast, they're like they're a band that are kind of gonna blow up real soon. Decay, they're a band from my ends. Love them. They are my absolute boys. They released an album this year that is in my top 20 albums of the year. It's an album called Staring at the Sun. Absolutely love it. I listen to it every other day.
I'll have a listen.
Yeah, I just think the biggest thing I can do is, like, when shows come back, just everyone go to a show, because we've been waiting for this for so long. And I feel like, personally, and from watching other shows, like, people would skip out on shows and not support bands, and you know what, them bands will blow up one day.
Yeah,
they might be crap now, but one day they'll blow up, and then you'll feel like a sucker when you didn't check them out when you were small.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we definitely need a stadium bigger than Wembley to fit all these local bands in and just get as many people as possible.
Like for myself, I'm so sad because I only played one show the entire year, but it was such a good show.
Yeah.
Like, I supported a guy called Corey Wells. He's like an alternative singer-songwriter dude. Okay. He's on Pure Noise, and he's just amazing. And then my mate Luke Greensford supported him as well. Luke's doing really, really well. He released an EP called The World in Colour. Yes, it is called, and he's got a single on it called Lack, and it's sort of like this old pop song, and it just slaps. It's such a good song. He's such a good songwriter. So big up to him.
Nice. Pop all these artists over to me afterwards. I'll check them out, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so one last thing. What's the favourite gig that you've played?
Ooh.
Have you got one?
Ooh. I have. So I have. I'm gonna spoil it. I've got two. So I've got one that I played in Manchester about 2 years ago now. Yes. I think it was like Halloween 2 years ago in Manchester, supporting Coast to Coast. That was the first time I met all of those guys, and kind of the vibes I got from them as people was just amazing. They've become really good friends of mine, and the other supports, so like Medlock as well, another good band from Manchester you should check out, and Storm Harbour, like all solid dudes, all really good songwriters. Was one of my favorite. And then I think my favorite has got to be when I supported Chris Rowe from the Ataris.
Nice.
That for me was kind of a big, like, okay, people are recognizing you as an artist, kind of like. And even though it was an opening slot, he still talked to me, and he was so nice. And you get, like when you get to meet some of these bigger bands, you get so scared that they're either going to become like real assholes to you and be like, especially be not of themselves. But you know what? Heard it's Chris Rowe. He's such a nice dude. Like, I walked in the venue, nervous as anything, like the entire day, knowing I was going to meet this dude. And then like he shook my hand straight away. Said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm looking forward to checking out your set." And then he watched my set and then came up to me. I was like, "You've got something special. Definitely don't give up on it." And cool. I was kind of like, "Okay, yes, I'll never watch your songs again." So yeah, that for me was one of my favorite shows I've ever played. Yeah.
It's always good to hear that kind of thing, isn't it, from a larger artist? Definitely.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like, I can't speak for every smaller band, but I know myself. I go through these throws of, I'm not picking up traction. People aren't streaming my music. People aren't liking my posts on social media. I'm not getting many new followers. No one's really sharing my stuff. So I'll go through the points of, well, why am I doing it? Like, no one's really caring about what I'm doing. What am I doing wrong? How can I improve? Or if it's even worth doing?
Yeah.
And then and that's such a battle to go around, because like I'm so adamant to make this a thing and work and take it as far as it can go. But sometimes I'm just kind of like, nah. Especially this year, because a lot of my plans for the year got absolutely dashed.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
So, but I think trying to persevere and finding space to persevere is what a lot of smaller bands should do. Yes, definitely,
I agree. Totally agree. There we go. So yeah, smaller bands, anyone watching, hit me up. I'd love to get you on the podcast. And just tell everyone about the podcast. Tell all your bandmates and stuff, or your friends that are in bands, and I'd love to get some of them on. We'll go from there. So massive thanks for being on today, Carl. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a good time.
Good. I'm glad you have. So, new album coming out in summer 2021, hopefully. Look forward to hearing that one, and maybe get you on in the summer just to chat about the new album and stuff. Just a quick chat, not so long, as we've got to know each other a bit more this time. So, yeah, that'd be awesome. So, massive thanks. Subscribe, people. Please like and comment as much as you can. And, tell everyone about it. There we go. So, thanks for coming on, pal.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Punkio podcast. Remember, the views and opinions expressed in this show represents those of our guests and hosts alone. Tune in next week to find your new favourite punk band. Hit that subscribe button to never miss an episode.